And can we just lay a virtual hand in prayer for me? Because I need to get my stuff figured out. You are so loved and you are so valued, period. That is a fact. As a Christian, or even if you're not a Christian, it's out there for you. The best love, the most fulfilling love that you could ever experience in your whole entire life is out there for you. Hey guys, it's Editor Jada, and I absolutely think I look like the day I've had. I don't even want to, I'm recording on Snapchat. I'm on my bedroom floor now, and I think I felt super discouraged. Okay, so this is where I feel like is a good time to jump in. What the heck did I have going on? Why was I recording on Snapchat? Why am I on the floor? It's a whole lot. So pretty much I had, as you can see, my regular cute podcast setup, and everything was kind of going according to plan until it was like 30 minutes in, and I guess my phone got filled with storage and I didn't see the notification because I was recording from the back camera. So the way I set it up on the tripod, I didn't see it until it was like 20 minutes more of me talking, and that footage did not get captured, and I felt like that was really like the main part of the message. So essentially what I was like giving a background on was like my relationship history and like this whole thing of how I used to really believe that love was, I don't know, like more so in the perfect partner rather than in Jesus. And this podcast will kind of talk about how like my mindset has truly been transformed. So what happened was I ran out of storage. And can we just lay a virtual hand in prayer for me? Because I need to get my stuff figured out. Like, I never have storage on my phone. But I think, honestly, beyond that, when we think about Ephesians 6 and how everything is spiritual, I was like, dang, just as I was starting to get... Y'all saw how excited I was? It's her the clip.
In verse 7. I love it so much.
I was so excited. I was getting into it, and I did, and I spoke for like 20 minutes after the recording had ended before I realized, girl, with that whole like everything is spiritual thing, I just can't help but think, man, like this could really actually encourage somebody, and that's why it's so hard to get out. So anyways, I was talking about 1 John 4 chapter 7 to 8, and I was just talking about how beautiful it is that God is love. And the crux of it is this, guys. My whole life I had been searching for love and fulfillment, and I was looking every which way but God. And it wasn't until I opened up my Bible and I sat in his presence and I really built a relationship with him, that is when I experienced what true love really is, through him and through other people. And I feel like with that knowledge of his love, now I'm the best possible. Now with that knowledge of his love, now I'm equipped more than I could ever be to love myself and to love other people and to recognize true love when other people are coming to me. And I think as I was talking about kind of like that situation of me sitting in my car, honestly... Okay, so I think this is probably going to be the last piece that I have to pause and explain, but essentially what kind of car situation I'm talking about is when I was recording the original podcast, I was expressing how, at the end of me explaining like my history of pursuing relationships and just like looking for love, I explained that even after all that was said and done, it kind of like the feeling was on and off, and it kind of followed me throughout childhood, throughout high school, throughout college, and even in post-grad. And then the in the car moment is when I was sitting in the car, and it was after graduation, and I was just reflecting on how I had made all of these different accomplishments like on paper, but I still didn't, in my mind, accomplish something that I really wanted to, which was to have like a relationship or have like a partner. And I was saying that kind of like in that moment, God kind of like reminded me with that Bible or not necessarily with the Bible verse, but the Bible verse reminded me of how he reminded me that he himself is love. And that's why I decided to read 1 John 4 verse 7 in the first place. But yeah, I think I'm going to talk about how even outside of that intellectual knowledge, it was still a struggle to really believe it. Yeah. I, even after like that mental realization, like, oh shoot, like, you're right, God, you do love me, I still felt a little bit discouraged, because I was like, man, God, I don't always, I know that you love me, but I don't always feel your love. And honestly, he kind of clocked me again, because he reminded me, first and foremost, that his love is just a fact. Like, it's the truth. He loves me. It's the truth. I'm valuable. That's the truth. I'm fulfilled through him. That's the truth. Those are all facts. But the thing is that I might not always feel that way, but he reminded me very strictly that his love exists outside of feelings. We cannot trust our feelings. The Bible says somewhere in Jeremiah, I'm gonna put the scripture there, that the heart is deceitful above all things. Our emotions are gonna flicker. I don't always feel loved by him or whatever, but I am, and that is a fact. And furthermore, he reminded me of all the ways that he's used people to bless me and show me that he really loves me. I'm talking like, even back in college, random interactions where I was like hungry and he randomly provided for me through a friend, or I didn't know how I was going to pay for my next semester, and out of nowhere I get some type of scholarship that I didn't even qualify for. Like, just little and even smaller things, like just little tiny kisses from him to really remind me gently that he loves me, and that his love is so much bigger and so much better than any love that any person could possibly provide for me. And it reminded me also of another Bible verse that I wanted to look at within 1 John 4. Stay with me now, girl. I'm not gonna let the enemy stop me. I'm so tired. It reminded me, please scroll down to verse 12, where it says, no one has ever seen God, but if we love each other, God lives in us, and his love is brought to full expression in us. How incredible is it that we get to experience the fullness of God's love, and then we also, like, through other people too, like, we on our own get to experience that fullness, but we also get to be reminded of that fullness and practice that fullness with each other. And obviously, like, you know, it's Valentine's time, like, everybody's thinking, oh my gosh, the relationship, but honestly, what's up with my eyebrows? Sorry. Even with like friendships, like, and just within the body, we could really show each other that we love each other, and it is God's love being expressed in action. So yeah, I think ultimately that was like my biggest goal of this podcast, and to start off this series, was to just remind you that you are so loved and you are so valued, period. That is a fact. And I know that this could be a discouraging time for people who are single, or I don't know, just like desiring a relationship, or you've just come out freshly of a relationship. But I just wanted to remind you guys that, man, like, as a Christian, or even if you're not a Christian, it's out there for you. The best love, the most fulfilling love that you could ever experience in your whole entire life is out there for you and available. And not only that, but truly, guys, experiencing that love. Hold on, I look kind of cute. Why I look kind of cute? I'm sorry. truly, experiencing that love gives, and truly, guys, I'm not even gonna lie, I feel so in love. I am so in love. I am so fully sold out for Jesus because of everything that he's done for me, and not just because of his character, who he is, and that we have the opportunity to live like him and love like him, and that we just get to, we don't deserve the love that God gives us. I don't deserve the love that God gives me, but just the fact that he loves me, and I don't know, it's just so fulfilling. And I feel currently in the state I couldn't say it before. In all my other relationships and all the other places that I was seeking out love, I couldn't fully say it, not because of the people, but just because I was seeking a deeper level of fulfillment that only God could provide. And now that I have it, I can truly say, man, it feels fulfilling, and there's nothing like it. And I know for a fact that no human person, no matter how perfect they are, how amazing they are, could ever do this and could ever make me feel like this whole and this complete. So if you're feeling like you're missing something or you're lacking something, if you haven't experienced the love of God, that's definitely what it is. But even if you have and you're like, yeah, but no, like I still want, I understand. But also, you being able to experience that is giving you the tools to discern the type of love that is fully for you. You know what I mean? You, like, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I at one point in the podcast, maybe it didn't make the cut, but I was saying, like, man, like, truly, if we're being honest with ourselves, if true love was to just drop from the sky and slap us in the face, maybe we wouldn't recognize it if we had, like, no foundation to base it off of. But now that you know God's love, you know that you have that firm foundation to truly base it off of. So when somebody's coming to you, step into you like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, you know, this is a good type of love. You could check it. Is it patient? Is it kind? Does it keep a record of wrongs? You know, all these different things. So yeah. And also, I don't know if I touched on this point too, but really, really quickly, just wanted to remind you guys, yes, that it is not weird or wrong to desire companionship, desire a relationship, desire a boyfriend. Girl, innately as humans, we were built to desire companionship. We were built to, one, do life with God, but then also to do life with other people. We were not meant to do this life alone. We weren't. And so that's our design. That drive is natural. But I think it's also just like recognizing the beauty and depth behind God's order of doing things. And it makes sense that we have to, or we really should, receive our first understanding from God, who is the actual embodiment of love, so that we can, like I said, love ourselves, love other people, and then recognize that love in its pure form when somebody's attempting to love us. So I think it's just an incredible standard that we get to abide to and strive for. And I think it was also a really great place to start back this podcast, because it's been a really long time. And also the title of the podcast is a PV31 pod. The title of this podcast is the PV31 podcast. And I know with that, you know, obviously that part in the Bible is the part about finding a wife of noble character. And I think I did address it in my first episode. I think I'm going to put like the picture of the description or the Bible verse here. But I was saying pretty much how I acknowledge that, yes, like that's usually what people think of when they think of Proverbs 31, is like this wife. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like this podcast is about becoming a wife. But first and foremost, it's about becoming a wife for God, our first husband, and our most important and most foundational form of love, the love from God. That's what this podcast is about. And then obviously, like as a byproduct of that, when we are really able to step in the fullness of the love of God and learn to express that and embody the characteristics of Jesus, that will prepare us, I believe, to be the best wife possible for our future husband. So that is my goal for myself and for all of you beautiful women. Thank you so much for tuning into this first episode. Please don't let this throw you off. I know I'm all over the place. I hope the audio is pretty good. I'm sorry, girl. I was not gonna plug in back that thing. That setup takes a lot of time and it's really late. But I love you guys. I'm so content with this. I feel like I'm giving skin a little bit. My hair, I lit it up. I kind of like this look. Maybe I should just start doing my episodes like this. But I love you guys. Stay prayed up. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye.